Curtis A reached out to me, said make a theme song for my show. Said alright, just give me all the details, man. And my homie says he don't know. Well, if you're gonna pay me big bucks, cause I might should have something to say. He said, you know what I bring, I'm the customizing king, nothing else matters anyway. So is he gonna have guests? I don't know. Is he gonna go live? I don't know. What time will it be? What will you see? I'm pretty much in the dark, but I can guarantee he'll be customizing action figures, getting paint all on his fingers. It's art by Akerman. It's art by Akerman. Tips and tricks and conversation, sharing his gift with every nation. It's art by Akerman. Art by Akerman. You best get ready, cause now it's time for Art by Akerman.
Welcome back, folks. It's time for another How'd They Do That? This is the series where I talk to different artists in the community about what they do. It could be customizing, painting in general, dios, photography, whatever. And I've got somebody with us today who has just been putting out some really killer work. Just the paint jobs are quite exquisite. So excited to talk about some different strategies and what goes into it and where you can find all his work. So without further ado, bringing to the stage Marc Calvo. Marc, and
hi, Kurt.
There we go. I didn't have your picture there for a second. So how you doing, sir?
Excellent. Thank you so much for having me. That intro is just pure fire, man. You can play it all day.
Yeah, Jeremy DeWitt does those songs, and he is just so dang talented. He's very good. So if anybody out there needs a theme song, Jeremy DeWitt's your guy. So excited to talk to you. You've been doing a lot of really cool paint jobs and stuff lately. So I want to just get right into it. I'll pull up the slideshow first. So usually I'll grab a bunch of pictures to use for these slideshows, and then I try to pick one that I'm like just super impressed with to put as the main picture. And you had done some like really hot and cold figures, right? So I'm really kind of starting with some of those, and especially this like ice guy, right? So I love everything about this. I love the weapon. I love the choice of parts, but then the paint job and the blending of the different colors is really spectacular. So can you tell me a little bit about what went into this?
Well, that's been like a learning painting process, because I just started a few months ago with the airbrush system a little bit.
Gotcha.
So yeah, it's kind of a whole new thing. It's really a pain in the ass, like all the setup behind the airbrush, because it's a lot of stuff, cleaning stuff. You need to change color, but the results are just incredible. And I think if you are smart enough to where to use it and combine with traditional brush paints, it's a really good way. And I started with this kind of effects, to work with dark lights and proper lights, and it's like a learning process, but it's super cool.
Yeah, I same thing. I was very intimidated to get into airbrushing to begin with. Because I stupidly in my head, I kind of had it as well, that's like a cheat code. That's not really painting, right? Like you're not putting a brush to it. Like that's, which I found out there's a whole different artistry to airbrushing. And it's one of those things you can't just use for everything. Like it's not a one tool that can do everything for you, but there are some things that it's really, really good at. And having this like blending and transitions of colors is definitely one of the things that it succeeds at. And then, like you said, if you have a good process for keeping your airbrush clean at the end of the day, as well as like throughout when you're transitioning colors and stuff, if you take care of it, it can work really well for you. But it is a lot of maintenance just to make sure that it's not getting clogged up and not having issues and things like that.
Yeah, and maybe it requires a little more of strategy when it's not like, okay, I have 5 minutes, spare 5 minutes, I want to paint a
Yeah.
little, I need to set up that afternoon to work on that dwarf,
Yeah, you really need to block out like a section of time. It's not like if I need to do some dry brushing, like you said, I can just sit down, throw some paint on a palette, grab some, I can hit some dry brushing, and if I get called away to do something else, no harm, no foul. But yeah, airbrushing, you really have to okay, I've got about an hour, 2 hours that I can just dedicate to this and not leave. All right, let's go ahead and do some airbrushing.
Yeah, and I mean, I just started following a lot of guys that works on actual miniatures, Warhammer miniatures, that they are absolutely beast painting with airbrush. I mean, I work with Mythic Legion's site. It's small, but it's big enough to work with. But when those guys work with so tiny miniatures and do the same effects on them, it's just crazy how the precision and just how to push the trigger on the airbrush. It's a learning process, like I said, and it's good. I'm keeping a little bit more confident with it, but yeah, it's absolutely a good way to work, and it pushes you to know a little bit more about how the light goes.
Yeah.
For example, in that Ace Dwarf, it's like I work that I want the light come from beneath him, like all above. You cannot airbrush like, okay, not it's time for the white, just airbrush it. No, okay, I want the airbrush go to down to up of them.
Yeah, for sure.
If that makes sense. Yeah.
Totally. And then, the kind of a counterpart to this guy, you got this one. And I got to tell you, so last night I was I did a couple different shows last night, a couple different lives, and I finished up on my normal Friday night off world. And afterwards, I was putting all these slides together, and I popped this picture of this shield up. Trevor Williams was in there, had Blake, aka Recon Rage, got Joe Gonzalez in there, and I was just like, man, like look how freaking good this shield is. Like this might be. I mean, I've seen this shield a billion times, right? Like we have a lot of dwarves early on that came with this shield. This is definitely the best paint job I've ever seen on this shield. I absolutely love it. So. Obviously, kind of similar format as the last one, as far as I'm guessing you did some airbrushing and stuff on here. But yeah, tell us a little bit about how this one came together.
Well, the overall effort was kind of an accident because I didn't know. I have the shield actually here with me. I didn't know if everything at the time, but accidentally I forgot just to pop off the middle part.
That it comes out. Yeah.
I started with it, and when I finished it, oh man, I'm forgetting the centerpiece, and I didn't know if plug it again and start over or just paint this one alone. And I decided to make it own apart and then just clip it again and look how it looks. And it's really great that you can go with the slide. It's the same. I mean, it's really popping the centerpiece, and it's like it has more presence, it's more fire than if it was painted at once. So it's
and it actually makes the face look a lot more fierce too, with that kind of darker on the outside, right? It just for sure. And dude, the eyes on this are great. Like the eyes super pop. So
that's our traditional brush. It's like what we were talking before. It's like everything is airbrush there, but the eyes, it's like traditional brush, and it's 3 colors again in there. It's the yellow at the background, more light yellow in the center, and there is actually a couple of white dots. Just you cannot appreciate it here, but there's a couple of white dots there that bring up the eye effect.
Oh yeah, I mean, I've definitely done some eyes like this. I've seen some. I know Matt Stein does some. A lot of people know Matt for his patina effects, but I think Matt does some best glowing eyes around. And so when I see an eye like this, I'm like, yep, they definitely did some white in the middle. I mean, I could see it right away. But it just looks so freaking good. Like it really has this like menacing, glowing look to it. And there's a lot of details in this shield, right? And like just the different ways you can choose to paint it can really make those details look a different way. And I've never looked at this shield and thought, man, the face on it is really scary. The face is like menacing. But with this paint job, it really does look like a hot-headed, hot-headed thing. It's just really cool. So
yeah, it's one of the things I most love it about all Mythic Legions taught me. The paint apps on each figure, it can be the same base model, but you can make an overall new look. It depends on the paint apps on them.
Well, I'm definitely going to be trying to get this from you at Legion's Con if it's available, because this thing is just awesome. So
I'm trying to bring some, yeah.
Awesome. And then the guy on the left, I one of the things I really thought was cool on this was that you did a base for it, similar to like what you would see in miniatures. They usually have these like really detailed bases with some sort of terrain and stuff, and you've got like this rocky lava-esque thing that he's standing on, and then the figure itself, once again, a lot of transitions. I love the fact that for the skin tone, you went with like a dark, like a Dwegar or something like that, kind of dark dwarf skin tone, but then went into that because you could have done the flame effect through the face and stuff too, right? But you chose to go a little bit different. I think it really came out well.
Yeah, that's one of the scariest part when you airbrush, because you are airbrushing all the beard. And accidentally the face gets airbrushed too. So when you have the overall flame effect, it's so cool taking the same flame effect. Then I'm afraid now to paint black all the face because it's cool enough. But yeah, I wanted to try it, and I think it's still better with that blackish magma lava rock style face,
Oh yeah, for sure. I mean, I played a lot of World of Warcraft for many years, and like the dark iron dwarves, like they were always really cool. And like this guy just has that vibe. Like I could see him, kind of being under the earth, like in some caves and stuff. And you come across this guy, like you're not going to be happy about the results. Like this guy seems very brutal. So
absolutely not. And yeah, when you look at the pair together, the ice dwarf and the magma dwarf, I mean, my head just keep wanting more, more elemental dwarf, like a wooden dwarf, electric dwarf, even. I don't know. They're so cool.
Yeah, it's I know, Jeremy Gerard did a lot, a heat miser and cold miser a while back, and I think Stephen Bishotti did one with some elves that he did a hot and a cold. It's a really cool like combo. But then then you could go even further and do like a kind of a green like toxic one or whatever. Like there's a lot of different things that you could do. So and then this is I mean the beard on this dwarf, and like I wouldn't say this is the exact same thing as far as like the fire, but you got a lot of the same transitions. So I wanted to kind of pull these up and kind of talk through your decisions on these guys.
Yeah, actually the dwarf on the right, that's actually traditional brush.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, there is no airbrush on that one.
It's just some dry brushing of the lighter color and stuff.
Okay. Yeah, some people ask me if you can achieve the same effect without airbrush and dry brush, and I think it's hard enough, but it's really a possibility there. But it's a lot of work.
Yeah, I mean, it's the old there's a lot of ways to skin a cat, right? Like you can really do things a lot of different ways. It's just about how much time is it going to take? How much effort does it take? Do you have to mask certain things off? It just might be a little bit more difficult. So
Yeah, and everyone painting in the painting community know that dry brush it's a super excellent, easy way to pop up
mhm.
some stuff in your figures. But the technique it's easy, but it can be a lot of complicated if you want to achieve specific effects on them, like how you are rotating your hand when you dry brush. If you dry brush just this way or that way, the
Yeah, I
texture.
mean,
Mhm,
sometimes you want to go with like you want to go up and down, right? So that you're simulating light, right? And
exactly.
sometimes you're trying to get all of it, and so you may want to go in circles and stuff. And then the other thing is that sometimes you're dealing with really tight areas that you've got to get a tiny dry brush in there. I mean, like I look at this one and I go, the mustache, like especially if you did, I don't know if you did the skin tones first and then did the hair, but if you did, trying to dry brush that mustache when you've already got those that can be really nervous, like really
Yeah,
stressful.
yeah,
So
yeah, 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 yeah. I usually paint first skin tones and then hairs and birds and
yeah.
mustache. Yeah, yeah, yeah. I
Yeah,
usually
see,
start that.
so if that's the case, and what you're saying, like I see right at the edge where it's getting to the face, and then also like around the mustache and stuff. Like if you had to do any dry brushing there, that would make me really nervous. Like, man, I really don't want to mess up these skin tones because I mean, I don't know about you, but most time when I'm doing skin tones, it's not just straight out of a bottle, right? Like you're mixing some colors and trying to come up with the right flesh tone that you want. And so trying to get that exact combination again is not always the easiest thing.
It's really a pain. Yeah, yeah, yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. Absolutely. Yeah, yeah. It's some people ask what paint did you use for the skin tone, and it's barely any time I use one paint. It's at least two or three to
Yeah.
work with, from
Yeah. I mean,
darker to light skin tones.
I have some skin tones that I kind of start with, but then I'm adding, other like, I use Kislev flesh a lot, but I'm
Yeah,
probably adding a little bit of brown and some orange, maybe some red. You got
and
to change it up a
yeah,
little bit. And then
even on the
as
wash in
surprising
there.
as it may sound, sometimes you have to add green, which you're like, why would you, or blue, it's like, you got to
Yeah,
just to kind of bring it back down. But yeah, this looks fantastic. I also wanted to make mention of, like you have like the liver spots and stuff on this character, which really make it look super realistic. So tell us a little bit about that process.
well, when you start painting a lot of faces, it's like I don't want them all to look the same. And if
Yep.
you look at yourself in the mirror or the person by your side, every one of us have different skin tones and freckles and whatever it is. So yeah, I started to play with those dots. I started with actual paints, and then I started with washes or
Mm,
contrast
yep.
paints, because it blends a little bit with the base skin tone you have. It's not like a
Yep.
brown dot. Pop. It's okay. A
Right.
little, I don't know, sepia wash. You charge your brush with a little tiny drop and pop, and let it dry. So it gets like that blendy effect with the freckles and the skin tones there.
Absolutely. And then both of these characters have really well done eyes, and I noticed that throughout as I was pulling pictures and stuff. Um,
Mhm.
Tell us a little bit about your process for doing eyes.
Well, I don't use magnifying glasses. I don't use them.
Oh
I
wow.
just, yeah, 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 yeah. I
Well,
tried.
you must be one
I
of those
tried,
people that has like
but
the superpower where like you're nearsighted, so you take off your glasses and all of a sudden you can see everything super magnified. Is that you?
yes, it's really. I don't know how my wife or my kids see me when I paint, but it must be so funny because I'm like, that moment of of the
Yeah,
time
you're right on
stops.
top of it. Yeah.
Yeah, and yeah, painting eyes. It's like everything else, a process, and you need to try to paint and keep painting eyes, and you find your own way. My way, it's like the three separate dots,
Mhm.
black background, big circle, and I
Hmm.
work like with tiny drops, like just with the brush, boom, let it go.
Yep.
And if I don't like, I don't wait a single second. I have my water bottle by the side, and I have clean brushes, and I
Hmm.
got a clean brush and erase them. I don't let
Hmm.
the paint dries. I
Yeah.
want to go first try, you know.
Yeah.
And yeah, that's kind the way I work. And then background, if I want clear eyes, dark eyes, blue eyes, the same way, the same way.
Yeah. Yeah, and
Then
I think especially if you're trying to like if you've got a character that has like an eye patch or something and you just have to do one eye, super easy,
yeah,
right? No problem. But if you got two eyes that you're doing, like you really got to focus on making sure that the eyes are looking in the exact same direction, that if you have a reflection point that it makes sense based on where the light's coming in for both eyes and stuff. So you got to kind of think about like what it would actually look like on a real person. um and yeah, I think sometimes, especially when you're doing like the like you're saying about the like the dot in the middle, like when you like once you've done like your outside ring, you put your color in, and now you're doing the black pupil. Then it's like you want to make sure that it is in the right spot on both of them, right? And if it doesn't, yeah, just wipe it off, start again. So
I actually I talked with Euroligions guys months
mhm,
ago, and we were talking about this. And if I'm painting a batch of heads, it's funny
mhm,
because I work only on right eyes first, right eye, right eye, right eye, right eye, right eye, and then work with left eyes of every single one, because
that's
it's like
awesome.
my brain it's working in the way I hold the heads, and just one I just wanted the right side, so pluck next, pluck next, yeah, and then I turn with the left. Yeah, it's
That-
crazy, I know.
that's awesome.
But in,
Yeah, I
in,
recently just started. I actually just posted a video, and I started working with a ball stylus. I don't know if you've ever tried that. It's like a sculpting tool,
okay,
and it's basically just got a metal ball at the end, and they have different sizes and stuff, and you can dip that in paint, and when you go to put it on something, it makes a perfect circle every time,
okay, that's
because it,
cool.
unlike a brush, like when you put paint on your brush, it'll gather a little bit towards the middle, not the end, right? Because
Yeah,
the end, your brush tapers, and so that's like, so sometimes it's hard to get a perfect circle by dotting. Like sometimes you have to like actually paint it in a circle. And then you get, you see when people do that, like sometimes it's not a perfect circle, like it's a little bit off to this side or that side or whatever. But those ball
yeah.
stylists, it's like almost a perfect circle every single time. So
Oh, that's
I've
good to know.
started
Yeah.
kind of using that. I don't know that I would use it for every single eye or every single situation, but it is a nice little tool to have in the bag. So
Oh yeah, didn't know about that, but yeah, noted.
yeah. So let me go to the next one here, because these you started putting these out recently.
Oh yeah,
Um, and first off, the ATL 25. Shout out to Sherry from the studio. The camo job that she did on the pants, especially.
it's
Um,
awesome.
it looks so good. And then now you've kind of taken that to the extreme, and now you're starting to like create this whole lineup of characters. And I saw you got another one in the works right now, right?
Yeah, I have it with me. It's already finished. If you want
Oh
to
yeah.
check.
Oh, very nice. Oh yeah. That's
So
awesome.
yeah, this is a pawn.
So
Yeah,
basically
and
on these, so you're like kind of creating these characters. In some instances, you're taking the camo and extending it through the torso, a helmet, and that kind of thing, and just kind of creating this different lineup. So yeah, tell us about like your thought process on what you're trying to do with this.
well, it's really fun because like everything, when you take your own project that you are really happy about it, it's like the whole different than painting just because I want to paint that head or for fun or whatever. It's
Right.
like in my head, I know that I want the whole team. I know that
Hmm.
I don't have a timeline, so it's when I have time to work with them, and
Yeah.
like this is the best way to work in your customs.
So it's kind of a bigger vision that you're going for, rather than just I'm painting this one head or I'm painting this one custom to sell. I'm trying to create this thing that I want to see together.
Yeah, that's right. And when they announced the ATL, man, we needed that so badass. You know, everyone was hearing all the time that Cosmic, it's not about human characters, and all of we that, okay, we are okay with that, but man, Space Marines, everyone wants Marines. We have aliens, we have Starship Troopers, we have Predator, we have a lot of cool franchises that it's really on our heads, and we love them. So yeah, I started thinking about them, and okay, we have the perfect base body for Space Marines. Let's see what we can do with them, and we can still not do with them, because I need Ripley, for example, in my in my team, but I know it's not the time still for Ripley. But
well, it really feels to me, as I look through this and I see like what you're putting together and kind of the little sneak peeks and stuff that you're posting and everything, it feels like you've combined like the team from Predator and the team from Aliens. It feels like you're like bringing those two groups together. Like if you imagine like the biggest badasses from Predator and the biggest badasses from Alien, you throw it together and made like one group. It's like that's what it seems like. So
it is. And yeah, about camo patterns and everything else, I just found a website. It's from actual auctions about selling original props from the movie.
Oh, okay.
So they have really excellent quality pictures about costumes and props, and that's perfect, because it's like I can check what have Hicks on his armor, no? That little keychain and that bullet in the shoulder pad, and with Upon the same. No, I know they are tributes and they are not perfect, but if I can do little touches, then oh man, that's Upon, because in Upon's suit he has this binoculars with him, and they are actually the cannons of the gang from Cosmos.
That's beautiful. Yeah.
So yeah, I could the peg, I put the holes in there, like the eyes go there, and this is the night belt, the new night tiny belt. So
that
I
is
glued together.
So smart.
Yeah, and okay, now I have that Upon's touch, and I can make it. So yeah, I even wanted to write like the name on all of them in the chest piece. Yeah, they are so fun.
That's awesome. Well, first I got hold on. Let me in big in us for a second, because I did want to make mention of it, because you had said something about Cosmic, where there was a faction of folks that were saying like keep humans out of Cosmic, right? No humans in Cosmic. And here's the issue, that for anybody out there, that if you're in that camp of no humans in Cosmic, here's what I want to tell you. You don't have to buy them, right? But it doesn't mean they shouldn't be made, right? Like, I personally am not a huge fan of the 2.0 elves. My male characters, I just feel like it looks like, even if you are a slender character, when you put on armor, you're not going to look that thin, in my opinion. I feel like the males that are 2.0 just look off. But I'm not saying that the Horsemen shouldn't make them, because there's people that love them, right? And so if you don't want humans in your Cosmic, that's cool. But to like actively go out there and say, well, I hope they never do this and I hope they never do that. Well, I hope they do everything. I hope if there's anything out there that fans of the Horsemen want to see, I hope they do all of that. I'm not going to buy it all. I'm at a point where between Figure Obscura and Cosmic and Mythic and now this Infinite Legions and Legacy's coming, like they're putting out so much that at some point, most of us are going to have to make selections on what we like and what we don't like, right? Like, not all of us can just collect everything. You start running into space, you run into money issues and stuff, but that's the beauty of it, right? Like, like I like collecting the McFarlane DC, but I don't get. I mean, I probably only buy maybe. I'm a huge McFarlane DC fan, but I probably only buy maybe 5% of what they put out, right?
Yeah.
Because there's certain characters that don't speak to me, or they're not the version that I want, or whatever, and that's fine. But I'm not upset that they made that though, right?
Oh, yeah.
Like, yeah, let people have some fun. So, the other thing I wanted to ask you is like, so your part. Now, I've seen people say that they got a part from you. So, are you sculpting? Are you printing? Like, how are you getting your parts?
Well, I did a sculpt a while ago, and I still do. I'm super happy now that I'm with a lot of painting commissions and people who want to paint for them, and it's taking me a lot of time, so I'm enjoying it a lot. And I'm getting a little step back into the sculpting process because I still I don't have the time to do it.
Yeah, you
But
got to make choices. Yeah.
yeah, like everything in life. But when a personal project like this one comes up, you find the time. You find the time. So
Gotcha.
yeah, and this is a mix of my sculpts and some original other artist sculpts I found. So I'm mixing my sculpting and the renders of basket or higgs or whatever, and putting the weapon. It's a mix of all of it.
Yeah, I mean, like I see the Legion's parts for sure, but then like this guy on the left, the gun that he has is really cool looking, and I'm like, I have no idea where that came from. I look at like his head and the helmet, no idea. Her head, like those I don't recognize. So can you tell us a little bit about those parts and any others that may not be Legions on here that I'm not catching?
Yeah, they are actually from Aliens.
Okay.
I download. I purchased an actual Aliens statue.
Okay.
To print and paint, and I just start cutting parts because it's not an action figure; it's a statue. So they come with action pose and wherever.
Yeah.
And okay, it's cool. I don't need the parts apart. I can do it. I know if I cut the gun, I cut the hand holding the gun. I redo the parts that I need. They have a helmet on the ground that I can reuse it and hollow inside and put the same helmet on Higgs or on Apone on other characters. So yeah, it's like mesh mix parts together.
Yeah. You're basically like popping and swapping sculpts, right?
Yeah.
You're like, I like this, but I only want this part of it, so I'm gonna extract the other parts. And okay.
And the good thing, it's like I know they are accurate face prints of the real actors on the show, on the movie, but it's a personal project, so I'm okay with that because I wanted to look like them. I'm not selling these sculpts, I'm not promoting these sculpts. It's like I need them in my collection, so I want looks like them. So that's why I'm working like that in this time.
Well, and I think that's an important distinction to make, because I know the four horsemen have put out certain guidelines for the community where they've said, hey, they don't want any like stolen IPs and this and that. And really the idea is that you can't use somebody else's property to make a profit, right? Like you can't make money off of somebody else's property without giving them a cut, so to speak. So, but if you're doing it as a personal project, have at it, have fun, do what you need to do and create something cool. And that's what you got here. So
yeah.
What about this gun that he's holding? Is that something that came from something like that too? Or where did okay.
It's the same. It's the same. The gun, it's a real like replica from the gun used on the movie.
That's awesome. I love it. I was like, as soon as I saw that, I was like, man, I wish they had something like that in the Cosmic line. That's just really cool looking.
We need more guns like that.
Yeah, absolutely. All right. Now, next one I got is this guy here, and I love the whole thing here. I love, not only the way that you painted the head, but then how it transitions down into the body. This just looks really cool. So tell us a little bit about this one.
Well, this is actually in Rich from Eurolegends community podcast. Sorry, did it on his own collection now. It was
Nice.
yeah, and he know what he wants. he co- he keep in touch with me and told, okay, I need this head go side by side with red and black because I want to go in that body. And okay, let's do it. And it's super fun because it's all like we talked before. It's traditional painting, brush painting, but I used like tape for just working, splitting paints on them. And when you need to work, for example, in this case, where it's black in there, you know that you need to start with the lighter one. So I just started all red and then tape it and then go with the black part.
And it definitely looks like you've used either some sort of wash or maybe even started with a lighter color and then went or darker color and went lighter. Is that right?
Yeah, the wash technique blends a lot all the paints. I mean, and you need to lose the fear in using washes and contrast and dry brush because you need to experiment how they work. And
Absolutely.
and I am a big fan of sepia wash and how's the name, Agrax, the black brown Agrax.
Agrax Earth Shade.
Yeah, that's the one.
Yep.
But in this case, I used a Noon Oil black wash.
Okay.
And man, the result on the red, it's fantastic because
it looks great. It makes it look like a red leather for sure.
Yeah, and as I said, it's washes are the same like dry brush. It's a way to work, but there are tons of possibilities on how to work with them.
Yeah.
You can wash and let it dry. You can wash and use a little paper to absorb extra washes. You know, because you don't want to be extra wash on them. And how do you let the wash dry? Because if you put that head, for example, when you wash it upside down, all the drops are going that way. And in this case, you want the drops going like the hood in this way because the shades go in there. You know, so you need to let it dry, put it in the smart way. You need to go and work with them.
Yeah, I think like kind of what you're saying. Let me know if I'm wrong here, but I'm just kind of sum up for folks. Like, feels like try different techniques, try different things. None of this is hard to do. It just takes time to master it, right? Like the more you do it, the more you practice, the more comfortable you'll get with whether it's airbrushing or dry brushing or using washes. Like if you just do it once and you go, well, I'm not really happy with the results, and you don't ever do it again, you're not having much success. But if you try it and practice, it gets easier as you go for sure.
Yeah, and you need to mess it up sometimes. It's the way of the learning process works. And even if you didn't mess up and you are okay with the result, sometimes you need to work over your comfort zone. Okay, this is working for me, but if I try that way, you know what I mean? It's not okay, I'm okay with that, but maybe if I try something new, I can get better results or another kind of results.
Absolutely. I love that you're pushing yourself to try new things. And there's something to be said for kind of working with stuff that you're comfortable with, right? Like when you first start out, I tell people, like, if you're painting for the first time, you've never picked up a paintbrush, maybe don't start with a human head, right? Like painting eyes, like matching skin tone. There's a lot of different variations in skin tone, from the shaded areas to the areas that have more like a blush in it and stuff. Like it's just a really difficult thing to start with. So maybe don't start with that, but it doesn't mean don't ever do that. Right. Like eventually you do want to work your way to those things and try those things. But so there is something to be said about kind of starting in a comfort zone. But then, yeah, you're right. You just got to continually push yourself to, well, I'm going to try this and I'm going to try that. And maybe, I'm comfortable with a certain type of paint, but it doesn't mean that there's not another paint out there that I might like better in certain situations. Right. So, just kind of experiment and have fun with it.
Yeah.
Beautiful. And then here's a different version of not really the same head, because this one had like the gritted teeth. So it's a little bit different head. Definitely different paint job. So yeah, tell us a little bit about this guy here on the left, and then we'll get to the guy on the right.
Well, that's obviously, for who knows the Robin Hood from Disney, that's the Rhino Ward. Yeah, I'm a big fan of animation and flat colors and everything else. And I mean, the people who work in that time with them are really masters of what they are doing. So that colors palette, it's exceptional. That kind of reddish pink with the blue and the gray of the rhino, it's perfect. And sometimes it's really a pleasure to follow a scheme that some professional thought about it and replicate look how the looks together.
Yeah, a couple things I really like about this one is one, that all the little threads on the hood, right? Like the attention to detail that you have to make sure that you make those threads colored and stick out, because I've seen some people where they're just maybe like hit it with a very light dry brush, and so it kind of is a different color, but it doesn't really pop. Like this really looks like that is threaded and holding that together. So that's one. And then the other thing is with the eye. If you've got like a human head, normal human head or something, typically you're going to have like the iris, the pupil and stuff is going to be kind of in the middle of your eye, right? You're going to have some white on either sides. But in an animal that's kind of looking down their snout and stuff, right? The eyes are going to be a little bit more forward, and so you're not going to have the white on the side by the nose. You're only going to have the white behind it. And the fact that you've brought those eyes forward, it makes sense for this character and how this character would actually be looking forward and stuff.
I appreciate you see that, because and those are really, I think, the tiniest eyes I ever painted.
Well, it looks great. So
I constantly joke with Diego, is the guy who sculpted that, and I always joke with him every time he sculpts. He goes, "Okay, think about the people who painted, please."
Yeah, I've had this same conversation with Emil, right? Yeah. So like one thing that I loved Emil to death. Emil's the best. But one of the things that I found interesting was, initially he was sculpting, but he wasn't painting a lot of the stuff that he was sculpting, right? Like he was putting stuff out, but he wasn't painting. And as he got into doing more customs and tributes and all this and that, you saw some of his sculpts change in terms of the amount of detail that was there for your brush to catch. And also the biggest thing is the eyes. His eyes early on were super tiny. And then, as he started painting more of this stuff, they got a little bit bigger, and you're like, okay, now he gets it, like give us a little room to work with here,
That's perfect. And that's one of the things I like about the way I paint. It's like whole process, from the design to print and paint all the pieces. So you are get some familiarization with all the process, and when you talk with designers, you can help them to say, okay, people are going to need to paint that. You can make more room on that space, or maybe you can separate it like a piece that can plug, so it's make it easy to paint apart and then plug inside. It's really helpful.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, there's something to be said for, I know prices of 3D printers have gone down over the last few years, and a lot of folks have picked one up and they're like, I'm going to try this out and stuff. And I guess two words of caution that I would have. Number one is there's a lot of safety precautions that you need to take. So if you do get a 3D printer and you try to get into it, just make sure you're taking the right safety precautions, because that stuff can be very, very dangerous. So don't just go into it haphazardly. And then the other thing is that when you're buying stuff from folks, I know, some people are like, well, this person's got this print and they're only charging $5. They're only charging, whatever. But there's a certain amount of quality that will help you as well. Like, yeah, I can get it print really cheap, but what's the details going to look like? Like, how is it going to paint up? Because a really well sculpted and well printed part can help a painter quite a bit, because the way that you're painting these things, like you look at this sculpt here of the rhino, and you look all those wrinkly details in there and stuff, right? It really makes the paint job stand out. You even look at like the within the hood, like how the folds of the hood are and stuff. All of those details can make a painter look much better when you get done, right? And it's like, yeah, it looks great, but it's also part of that is the sculpt. And then on the flip side, a good painter can make a sculpt look really awesome. So it's really a symbiotic relationship, right? Like you want the sculptor really put those details in there and take the time to think about, like you're saying, how is somebody going to paint this and what are the things that they're going to want and need? And then on the painting side, making sure you're catching all those details and bringing them out and bringing them to life. So
that's an excellent way to look at it. The symbiotic part you told, it's really nice way to look at this. Yeah.
So tell us a little bit about the guy on the right, because first off, great paint match. I love how it, like, you look from the torso into the neck and into the head, looks great. And then, you've got this like flare going into the horns and just looks super fierce. So yeah, tell us a little bit about this one.
Yeah, that's one of the Jason Rodriguez designs. It's an awesome demon, and paint match. It's one of the things I really enjoy because it's like a fun challenge to do. And a scariest one because when you are mixing colors and washing, and then I go further that tone I was aiming for, and you need to step back. But yeah, it's like when I was working with this demon, you want that red goes from the dark, and when you prime the base of the head spool, it's important to think, I'm priming in white or I am priming in black, because the color you put on them, it reacts different if you are putting above white or above black,
Right.
So yeah, in this case, I think if I remember correctly, it's basically a dry brush on the black head with with proper red mixing color.
Very nice. Yeah, it looks fantastic. Did want to talk about this one because, man, I tell you what, this looks so freaking good. I mean, I don't even know where to start. So, like, first off, the paint match on the jaw to the rest of the body, excellent. But then you get into the face and like this scar, and then like the darkness around the eyes. Like the face looks so freaking good. You did an amazing job on this. Can you tell us a little bit about this one?
Thank you. Yeah. In this kind, in this case, the sculpt, it has plenty of texture,
Oh
yeah, all the sack balls on the eyes, the scar. So even the ear, you can see the ear is really punched and
yeah, it's just that cauliflower ear. Yeah,
absolutely. So it's that stuff on the sculpts that when you look at it, you can start thinking, how would you going to paint that? And yeah, when we have plenty of schools with a right scar, it's like a resource that everything, it looks badass. And but you can really paint the scar itself, or like the scar is fresh, and and the eye, it's getting infected from that battle damage scar. So you can work with the blending, like reddish wash in the eye to take that effect.
That's super cool. I love it. I got one more slide. Oh no, sorry. Actually, yeah, let's talk about this one first, and then we got one more to get to.
I love that one.
Yeah. Tell us a little bit about these.
Yeah, it's a magnificent dwarf. Like that design is from Noah. You worked that with, if I can remember properly, how was the name of the sculptor? Jeremy Wilson, I think.
Okay.
Yeah, Jeremy Wilson. Yeah. there's a lot of volume in that head.
Hmm.
Look at the hair and the bear. It's like the face. It's getting sucked from all that volume. It's
Yeah,
I love it. It's like it's excellent to paint, and you can really enjoy the painting process on all of them. So yeah, sometimes you have to blend the hair how it mixes with the skin. It's
hmm,
really hard. It's really hard time to paint that. But in this case, it's like you can see the face. It's like almost a faceplate into it. So
yeah, yeah. It
you
looks
can,
like there's a separation between the head and the
yeah,
hair. Yeah.
I love it because you can work so tiny line over all the head and blending
Hmm.
into the hair. And I followed the color scheme from Adamon.
Hmm. I was
So
gonna say this has a very He-Man esque look
yeah,
to it
yeah.
for being a dwarf. Yeah,
It was my take on Adamon's, like what if he was a dwarf. So
gotcha.
there you have it, and it's really fun sculpt. I need to get more sculpts from Noah the time he brings up them, because it's really fun to paint.
Absolutely. And then
And yeah,
the one on the right.
on the right, it's like you said before, if you start painting, avoid start painting human faces, but
Hmm.
there's a step over that okay, avoid human faces and then avoid female faces because they are so flat and smooth skin. It's
Yep.
like, how the hell I'm going to paint that, you know?
Hmm.
There is no scars, there is no texture. So yeah, it's really hard to paint female sculpts, elf sculpts, so where everything is perfect and polished.
Hmm.
So it's a good challenge to have when
For
you are
sure.
starting in painting, and then okay, I'm going to try to paint that. And yeah, that's matching the Bastet skin tone.
Yeah, looks great. I love
And
the eyes on here too. Like the
yeah,
eyes are just like they're peering right into your soul. You know.
yeah. And you need to find your resources to bring it up detail on like such a smooth face. So yeah,
Hmm.
you can add a bit of freckles to add something new on the sculpt,
Yep.
putting on the eyeliner,
Hmm.
to pop up the eyes, the gloss on the lips, the perfect eyebrows. It's like, yeah, it's one step
Well,
at a time painting.
and one of the things I noticed on your eyebrows here, it's not just a line, right? It's not like you're
Yeah,
just painting a line. Like there's some like
yeah,
jaggedness.
a
So
little
so it
tiny line.
yeah, so it looks like the individual, like the eyebrow hairs, right? It's not going to be just a perfect straight line. So it really does give it some depth. And this is one of those things where, like, if I was to go back to the sculptor, I would say, hey, if you can actually sculpt some detail in the eyebrow, that really helps out a painter. But
Yeah.
even if they don't, a painter can kind of still create that look. A good example, I just did a review on the Sir Andrew figure, and that
Okay.
Sir Andrew face looks amazing. And he's got this beard and stuff, but none of that facial hair is sculpted. But they do a great job of the paint job to where when you look at it, it still looks like he has facial hair. That being said, if the sculptor can throw some detail in there, that would really, really help. So,
Helps a lot. Yeah.
yeah. Well, now I've got one more slide, and I want to
Oh yeah.
start with the one on the right. I want to finish on this one on the left. So the one on the right with the skull. Tell us a little bit about that one.
Well, that's quite a challenge. Was quite a challenge because I painted that, I still didn't work with airbrush, so it's
Hmm.
all dry brush and washes and stuff.
Hmm.
And I really enjoy the greenish scaphoid fire. It's like the magic is coming from the beneath the skull and going over that.
Hmm.
And yeah, it's like lighting work. It's okay. You know where you want to go. So start thinking which is the way to paint it, from lighted colors to dark, and
Hmm.
how the wash affects. There is a green wash in there in the flame effect.
Hmm.
and how you apply them, and then let it dry up there to down the school, because you need to be harder near the school and lighter over them.
Mm-hmm.
And yeah, and you can play with the wash too with more water, and then blend it to the actual yellow light at the end of the point of the flame.
And then the eyes on here are just spectacular as well. I love that you decided to go with like that dark green for the main eye, and
Yeah.
then that lighter green for the very middle. It really looks haunting.
Yeah, it's one of those things that you need to try, and maybe, okay, I'm not sure enough how it will look, but yeah, it's basically the green eyeball, and then add a super light yellow dot on the center, and you go with that cool crazy effect.
Very cool. So this one on the left now, I wanted to finish on this one because I know I'd seen one of my favorite photos from last year was from Nate Strong, and
Oh,
he had one. I believe he got this one from you, and it was similar sculpt to this. And I was just amazed by the job you did on these goggles. Now, you know, the face looks great. The skin tone is awesome. I love the depth in some of the crevices and wrinkles. The hair looks awesome, but these goggles are next level. I mean, it looks it does not look like a flat paint job on a flat surface. So tell us a little bit about how that came together.
well, it's one of those processes that you can mess it up, or you can get a really success on it. So the base work is the same like the flames on the right guy. You need to
Mm-hmm.
work from the dark base. Let's talk about the orange. It's orange beneath the yellow.
Mm-hmm.
Then when you have the base created, you need to add the yellow, but to achieve that blended like glossy effect, you can work, or I try to work with really liquid paint, you know.
Okay.
I put
So
a lot of,
like really thin down.
yeah, with a lot of water, with
Okay.
lots of water, yeah, to try to the yellow get over the surface, but getting more strong when you put the brush at the center. And then of course you can add some gloss coat over it to get that brightness on the goggles,
Mm-hmm.
and get that result that it really pops.
It's so freaking beautiful. And then you know it looks like you know on Nate's it says that I guess he got it from Jeff Dis, but he got the one painted from you and
Yeah,
then put it on that figure, and he actually you know kind of put together almost like this like Rocketeer
yeah.
type body. And man, it just came out so freaking perfect. So
Well, beautiful
um
picture. I can remember that with the jetpack and everything. Yeah,
I believe I got it. I'm gonna try to find it real quick. I don't want to take up too much time, but
of course.
let's see.
Worth it,
Nate.
worth it to see it.
Uh, here we go. Yeah, here it is.
Oh, yeah, and
Yep.
Nate is getting so good with the photography. It's
Oh
awesome.
yeah, I mean it's he's putting out some really great stuff right now. He just did a Hera recently that oh my goodness. So let's see. Here we go. Yeah, I
So,
mean,
oh yeah, look at the light and everything else. Yeah, it's perfect.
yeah, I just love the way that this came together. He put it kind of like in this, it felt very like 60s sci-fi kind of I don't know, world. And he's just like walking down the street. You got another character in the background, and yeah, just
Yeah, the,
beautiful.
oh, the whole composition of the picture, it's next level.
Yeah. I think, you know, it's one of those things where you know, kind of like we were talking about the synergy between a sculptor and a painter, right? But then the same thing with when you get a great photographer that gets something of yours and then they put it in a photo and you're like, oh my gosh, like that
Yeah,
just
elevated.
really highlighted it the way that it, you know, I wanted it to be highlighted. So
Yeah,
um
It's so amazing, the whole process in the community, from the sculptors to painters to toy photography. It's awesome how one single piece can go over all that steps.
Yeah, it's just like a whole process and stuff, and everybody working together. So, man, I really appreciate you sitting down and talking with me. This has been some great stuff. Where can people find you? You're now on Instagram. You are actionfigure.showroom, correct?
That's correct. Yeah.
I'll throw a banner up here. Yeah, tell if folks want some of your work, where can they just reach out to you? You going to be at shows? What do you got going on?
They can reach out me through Messenger, through Instagram. I'm an active member on the Cabal. I try to post regularly because I'm still painting. I try to paint each day a little bit.
Mm-hmm.
And I have a website that's calvocustomcreations.com that all my work goes over there, but we can talk a part of that, and then I can set up everything they need through my site.
Gotcha. And then as far as like shows and stuff, I'm guessing you're going to be at Legion's Con again, right?
Yeah, absolutely.
Any other shows that you do throughout the year, or is that kind of the main one?
No, that's the main one. I would love to be at more shows, but being in Spain, it's really a costly trip to go over there. But yeah, this one will be my third Legion's Con, and it's absolutely a blast. And being able to talk with people and everything else, it's just magic. So yeah, I'll be there for sure.
Yeah, so, and when as far as where you're positioned in the con, like who's on either side of you in the con?
Sorry?
Like who's of the tables on either side of you at Legion's Con? Do you know like who your like neighbors are?
No, I still don't have I think it's not released yet.
Have you been in the same spot the last couple of years? As
yeah, I was between Animal and the AWAC guy.
Okay, the AWAC guy.
Yeah.
Yep.
And on the other side, there were a couple that, like, with a Kickstarter of space figures. I can't remember the name of them, but yeah, I was at the end of the hall.
Gotcha.
Yeah. The good thing is it's not a super big show, so being at the end, it's not really a problem because people pass by so frequently. So yeah, I don't know where I will be this year, but yeah, I hope to see you all guys there.
Yeah, so everybody look out for the announcements when they do the floor layout and stuff, and make sure you check out Marc's work, because I mean, you're doing some really amazing stuff, and I definitely hope to pick up one of those fire guys from you at Legion's Con if you got one.
Thank you. Yeah, I will try to bring more cool stuff and full customs or painted heads, but yeah, we'll see what I have time to get ready for it.
Beautiful. Well, I'm going to put you backstage. If you've got to run, I totally understand. If not, hang out and I'll talk to you in a second as soon as I close out the show.
Thank you for having me, Curtis.
Absolutely. This was awesome. Thanks a lot. All right, folks. Well, that is another episode of How'd They Do That. Just kind of recap a few things that we got on this. Marc said, get out of your comfort zone, try some different things. The more that you practice it, the more you do it, the more comfortable you're going to get with it. And don't be afraid to mess up, right? Like there's going to be some things that it's when you try things for the first time, it's not going to go super smooth right out of the off the bat. But the more you do it, the more you get used to it, the more comfortable you'll get. And, listen, like he's putting out this great stuff. And if you ask how he does it, he's saying he's painting every day. Like that's really the key, like the consistency and just making time to do it. And you just get better and better. So hopefully you found something in this that'll help you in terms of tips or tricks, or maybe just inspiration. So if you do create something after watching this, tag Marc, tag myself. We'd love to see what you create. And until next time, folks, keep creating.